Hi, I'm Tim Bradner. Welcome to Capitol Views, and thanks for joining us. Today, we're welcoming Representative Stanley Wright, newly elected to District 22 in Anchorage. So thanks for joining us, Representative Wright.
Oh, thank you for having me. Appreciate you, Tim.
Yeah, maybe you could just tell us a bit about yourself and your background, what motivated you to run for the to come down to Juneau.
Well, I started out here in Alaska back in 2006. My wife, she's born and raised here, and we were high school sweethearts back in South Carolina, and she decided after we got married that she wanted to come home. So we're back here in Alaska. I had a foolproof plan where I was only going to be here for a year, and then my wife, she showed me the beauty in Alaska, and I decided to make it a lifetime.
That's a similar experience a lot of us have. We come up for a summer and we love the place so much we never leave. At any rate, what sort of work did you do? What did you do when you arrived in Alaska? What did you start doing?
So I always wanted to be in law enforcement. I kind of enjoyed helping folks, and I figured I could help people doing that. And so I went and worked at a halfway house for some time as a resident monitor, and then I also worked on base as a armed guard for one of the local contractors on the local base J Bear.
And did you go on into law enforcement after that, or
No, I ended up joining the military.
okay?
So I worked with so many individuals that were in the military at the time when I was contracting, and I didn't join prior to because we were with child, and I didn't want to leave my wife, so I was just I stayed with her, and after my daughter was 2 years old, going on three, I joined, and we went and kind of traveled and saw the world.
So you were in the Navy?
Yep, in the Navy.
Yeah, there's a picture on your webpage, a wonderful picture of I guess yeah, picture you took on the deck of an aircraft carrier. Maybe you could tell us about
Mhm.
that photograph.
Oh, so which photo was it? When I was standing out there
You
on the
must have
deck?
been swimming because there's a an aircraft. It looks like it's revving up, coming right at you, but it's not, of course. But
Oh, yes, of course. So I am in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea on deployment, and we can have about 100 aircraft on that aircraft carrier, and we were loading them all up because we were just getting ready to go into port. We were in Greece, and we wanted to have a little fun that day. And one of my guys, he had a camera, and he said, "Hey, Wright, let me get this photo. I want to try something." And I was like, "What do you want to do, man? Come on." And he's like, "Yeah, let me take this photo." He was a great photographer. And I realized that during the entire deployment that I had a photographer with me the whole time. It was amazing.
yeah, that was quite an interesting picture. So where did you serve? Did the where did you deploy after the Mediterranean?
Well, so we deployed to the Med, though we did Med cruises. Those were the only places we went. I was aboard the Harry S. Truman at the time, and I also was aboard the Enterprise for some time as well. Yeah, those are the two carriers that I was on. I was in HS-7, and then HSC-7, then HS-22, and then VRC-40.
Now, what do those terms mean? What is HS, for example?
So the HS platform is basically your helicopters, your 860s,
Uh-huh.
and so those were all helicopter squadrons that I was in. I spent some time there, and that was kind of my area of expertise, working on helicopters. I was an aviation structural mechanic, and then I went on to VRC-40, which is the Greyhound, the C2s, and those are basically prop planes that we do a lot of cargo around the world.
I see. So what prompted you to run for the legislature?
I've always been a public servant. I've always wanted to help people, and I felt like this would give me an opportunity to help more people on a larger scale.
And your district, maybe you could talk about your district a little bit. Did it change with this apportionment? It's District 22. Is it different than what it was before? Maybe you could describe where it is.
Yeah, so the district prior to it was District 16, and so I was a part of District 16, and it just recently changed to 22, which now the southern boundary is the bar, and the northern boundary is actually a road called Boundary, and the and the western boundary is the Pine Street, and the eastern boundary is the Muldoon neighborhood.
So it's sort of not quite downtown, but sort of East Anchorage. Would you describe it? Southeast Central Anchorage,
Northeast Anchorage.
Northeast. Yeah. What are people interested in there? I mean, when you were going door to door, what did you hear about?
A lot of folks were focused on the economy. They were really focused on, having a good living, being able to take care of their family, put food on the table. Folks just want to be able to reach their full potential, and that's why I run some of the legislation that I'm running now, like the marijuana expungement bill. That just helps folks be able to reach their full potential by not having a barrier in front of them, like not being able to get a job because of something they've done in the past.
Yeah, that's a. There's been a lot of interest in that legislation in recent times. What what committees are you on? Would you know?
It might be easier to say what committees I'm not on. I'm on resources. I'm on energy, and I'm also on state affairs, the vice chair. I'm the chair of the Department of Military Veterans Affairs. I'm also on a handful of other committees like the JAS, Joint Armed Service Committee, and Labor and Commerce.
Well, that's quite a lineup. It's enough to really keep you busy, and the issues you're dealing with, it's like drinking from a fire hose. A lot of different things.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm enjoying it though. I'm becoming the expert in the room on just about everything.
Well, thank you for joining us, Representative Wright. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to meeting you in person when I'll be down in Juneau soon. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Tim. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this, and thank you for all the hard work you do, letting folks know exactly who we are and what we're all about. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us.